It's Dalyla, and I'm with my favorite, very important person, Gina Alawaye. But Gina is absolutely one of my favorite humans on this earth. I'm excited that she's here. She actually lives all the way out in Texas, and I decided to catch her the little bit of time that she's here, be able to do this interview with her. So Gina,
yes,
what is your Myers-Briggs personality?
I am an illustrious ENTP. Yeah, I'm an ENTP.
Yes, ENTP. So you guys are in for a treat because Gina is a rarity around these streets. A female ENTP boss woman out here in these streets who allowed me to interview her. But yes, and so you all know I am your resident ENFP, and so this is ENFP Asks ENTP, and let's get going. What are ways that you feel like you differentiate from the idea of what an ENTP is personally? Or do you feel like you're kind of like token ENTP? But from your personal experience in life, what are some?
I think my personal experience is that the ENTP stereotype is heavily stereotyped. I think we were talking about it yesterday in the car, how like when you read online and it's like the ENTP, like either it's like the inventor who's just always inventing, and I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, to invent you have to have like some form of like physical presence and to like mess with like your actual reality. So I feel like that's a stretch. But and then the other half is like they're super obnoxious and they're arguing all the time and man, they annoy me. And so it's or like Jack Sparrow, maybe Tony Stark, and it's like super extremes. And it to me is not realistic. So for the most part, the stereotype comes from, I think, unhealthy ENTPs who argue all the time, who haven't learned haven't learned feeling or FE or engaged it or their SI, and so I don't think, and then particularly dudes, like there's just not a lot of ENTP girls. I don't think I've ever met an ENTP woman.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I think there's like so much interest in how much gender affects like your expression of the personality types, because I don't even know if it's necessarily biological, but I think there's so many aspects of just culture that like will push you a certain way or even make you feel either ashamed of certain aspects of your personality or either push you to really over accentuate certain parts, or it just interacts differently, or maybe because you feel like you're a minority in your personality, you then over accentuate those aspects too.
I think my mom is a fairly, like, I'm really grateful for my mom and my grandparents. Like, my grandparents were very like, you are who you are, and as long as you're not like hurting anyone and you're living your truth, it's fine, and just be who you are. And so my mom really instilled that in me. And so even when like I would get in trouble, like, being too bossy or like argumentative, and my mom would just teach me, she's like, okay, there's a difference between stating your opinion and being argumentative. And so that is a lot, like she's like, I'm not trying to change you or socialize you. I mean, beyond some things, there would be some things that were like, you have to shower, you're a girl, and I'm just like, okay, that's dumb. So if I was a boy, I wouldn't have to shower. But like, which is more so like a shift in the way we just talk and communicate in general than as opposed to like their actual mindset. But I think my parents were very good about working with my strengths. So like, for example, growing up, my mom comes from a very political family. A lot of her family members are in political office, and so we would just have a ton of like debates, period. And you had to have an opinion, and it had to be a researched opinion from like 11 or 12. So it's like, what's your opinion? Like, and mind you, like when I was around 11 or 12, I think that's when Obama was running. And so like, I mean, at 12, I'm not really thinking like the racial whatever. They were just like, this is important. I'm like, why? It's just another presidential debate. And they're like, no, you will think about this, and these are the reasons why, and like have an opinion. And so we would debate things, even down to like movies, where we would watch movies and it's like, okay, what are your thoughts on it? And we're just like, it was a movie. They're like, nope, thoughts. And so it was very, I mean, it was hard for my sister because she's a feeler and she didn't like that, but it helped me a lot to be able to communicate my thoughts without banging people over the head with it. And then they helped a lot with reining me in, because I was really obnoxious growing up, like really obnoxious. I can see where the stereotype comes from, and that's why I think it definitely is from ENTPs not having their FE and SI developed.
So it's either like a maturity thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maturation, and then the other end of it just being unhealthy.
Yeah, but I genuinely think that like most people wouldn't know they've met an ENTP if they're mature. like, because you can't tell, because they've kind of gotten that out of their system of like always interrupting, always being like like a little weird manic gremlin and that wants to fight you, and so you just don't know. The stereotypes are interesting, but I think particularly when you have such a heavily stereotyped type, nurture plays a bigger part than nature, as far as like recognition. Like, go on the forums and like read detailed, like try and find the older people who are of your type, and then it gave me a lot of like sense, like reading like ENTPs who were married, who had kids, who da-da-da, and you're just like, oh good, like I'm not gonna be this crazy my whole life, because that's exhausting.
That's an interesting perspective to like look for someone who's an older version of your type.
Oh yeah, it helps a ton, especially when you're like going through things, because I was like, I don't know what college to go to, I don't know about relationships, I don't know about friendships. Oh, that's my feelings.
I think if I know any older ENFPs, like I have to. I can't think of anyone.
Probably. I'm not in the habit of typing people anymore. As far as like just to, I think the temptation is when you get really into this whole thing, you want to type everyone, but you can put people in a box, and so now I'm just like, you know what, no, you're a person, let's hang out. If you know, for some reason it comes up, I'm gonna type you, I'll try to, or you can tell me your type. But
and it's so interesting, because when I tell people that I'm into Myers-Briggs or something like that, they're instantly like, what's my type? And I'm like, I just met you. I only use it as a tool to help me to understand people around me better, or like if something's like like, you know, it just helps you to function better in your world with other people. You know, it's that you have to.
It's supposed to be for, but I think people try to treat it like astrology or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, it's literally how your brain takes in information and processes
Small plug to the video with Zaina where we argue whether or not horoscopes are the same thing as Myers-Briggs. You can probably see by the way I'm saying this where I land, but you can check it out. That's an area of interest to you.
I think it's funny because when people are like, oh, ENTPs, they're extroverted, but like, we're the most introverted of the extroverts. And so it's like, no, I'm extroverted in the sense I get outside stimulation. But if my outside stimulation is the internet, I don't gotta talk to nobody, and that's fine. Like, what's it called? There are very few instances where I'm so bored I want to talk to someone. Usually I'm just kind of like, I'll go read a book, or I'll go play a video game, or I'll just sleep. Like, it's not, I think the world we live in, or this current society we're in, there's so much stimulation everywhere that I don't necessarily need another person to gain stimulation from. So it's not quite the same. I think our society automatically assumes extroversion in like an FE sense, where it's relational, but that's not what that means. Extroversion is just outside of you. So intuition just outside of myself. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So we are back at the time where, after Gina has so graciously allowed me to pester her with 1,000 questions, it's time for you to ask me a question. This is a vulnerable time for me. I think I can do it. Gina, any question, any random question in the world.
If you could, on top of all the functions you have now, someone asked me this recently, if you could have another function, what would you pick?
One that I don't have?
Yep.
That's a good question.
Right? And it's like you have the ones you have now, which changed the question a little bit.
Would it be at full maturity?
Like, that's a good addendum. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So I'm like, I don't need another struggling
function.
What's the point?
That's funny.
I would, let me think.
Because I picked T.
So I don't have. I have introverted feeling. I'm not trying to have FE. I have a strong bias, y'all. I don't want it though. I enjoy my FI a lot. And I feel like it's hard with those shadow functions because I feel like I don't fully understand them. Like, because it's hard to put it into my experience, or it's just really hard for me to fully grasp. It's hard to fully grasp what those functions are. So I know they nickname it perspectives, and I've read on it so much, it's really hard for me to understand completely.
That's true.
Extroverted sensing, and then I'm missing one.
Introverted thinking.
Introverted thinking.
You want to tell you? Do you want me to tell you what I picked?
No.
Okay.
Introverted thinking. That's accuracy?
Or at least what you said.
That'd be like a killer 1-2 punch with my effectiveness. Because that'd be lit. Because it'd balance out. Because then I'd be like very like... Oh, I was going to say essy. Because I'd like, it'd be really cool to be like very physically aware. And I'd probably be like very fit and also excited about life. But I don't care enough about the essy things to like want it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what I do that would be like make me super effective towards my dreams and my visions is if I had that pairing of accuracy. Because like even I was in an interview recently and they were asking me, they were like, I was very like over, they were like, you're confident and you hit a lot of the overall themes in the heart of everything, but they were like, get specific, like name those numbers, name those facts. And I was like, I didn't say it because it was an interview, but I was like, that is not my strength, but I will work at it. And I think like it'd be cool if accuracy, if I could just make sure that my editing was on point, that like I was more aware of things, of like pinpointing exact facts and things like that, and know that it was, and really fight for the accuracy of it, and not have a very like, oh, it's all right, but like be more tuned to that. Because like right now it's just not something, like I never edited my papers in college. I never did. I would just write the paper. I would maybe read it over once, but I would always just turn it in. My biggest comment back was always, check your editing. And so I always have now.
You didn't listen.
I hated editing, and I would always have other people do it because it was like you get the point. Yeah. But like I'm so grateful for autocorrect and all these other spell checking grammar apps now, and even just double checking methods, because no matter how good my writing is, it's helpful to have that accuracy element. And I think it would just make me 1,000 times more effective and actually stronger in getting all the things that I dream of. But it also, sorry, I'm getting way too into this question, because I'm like, on the other end, it could also really hold me back. Because then I'm like, if I got, because then I'm already can be a little bit more like my perceiving, and like, I hesitate to put things out until I'm a little bit of a perfectionist in that, and that like, that's why these videos are so important, that I'm just releasing them and not getting too caught up in it being perfect. But if I was accuracy, I'd probably I was really struggling with the perfectionism, which when I'm not in a healthy place, I start to get very like hesitant to ever do anything out of fear of it not being perfect in a way, or seeing the flaws.
You'd be an ENTP.
Basically. And like, so I'm like, maybe I don't want that much accuracy, but I do, it'd be helpful in some ways.
That's funny.
All right, homies. With that, we've had a full discussion. Gina's graced me with her beautiful presence in Atlanta, where the play is play, and we ride in the streets like every day. So you all can come to Atlanta as well. No, just basically thanks for watching. Thank you, Gina, for letting me interview you and fun. Being here and allowing me to geek out with you a bit. I was exploding with joy with your presence yesterday and today. And thank you all for watching. Please comment below. I know Gina would be more than happy to have our discussions. And I was going to say discussion, not an argument. But, you know, phrasing.
Respectfully. We're not going to call each other names.
And so if you would like to comment, if you have any thoughts or opinions about anything, feel free to say so in the comments below. I also like to have conversation, so feel free to do that. Subscribe, and you will see my beautiful face more often. This beautiful face occasionally when she decides to make a guest appearance, or whenever we get to do other things.
When money provides.
When money provides.
Or flights get free.
When you provide, if anyone wants to provide out there.
My Cash App will be down below. My PayPal account.
LOL. There'll probably be videos that pop up down here in this box, and then there'll be one here. Hopefully won't cover Gina's face. But you guys can either watch videos, this is a part of a multiple part series. You can watch the other videos in this series, or you can check out some of the other videos I do, and maybe you'll like and find something you like there. Alright, with that, goodbye for now to you, my friends. Goodbye for now until we make another video. Bye.